Some months just kind of come and go, but others feel like they're an entire chapter in a history book. Well, January 2026 was definitely one of those chapters. It was just packed with these pivotal events that, when you put them all together, really signaled a huge moment of transformation. All right, let's get into it.
So we're going to start with the single biggest headline of the month. What's this number all about? Well, this is the big one. In January 2026, India officially became the world's fourth largest economy by nominal GDP. I mean, that is a massive milestone. And honestly, it sets the stage for everything else we're about to talk about.
So, how do all these different pieces actually fit together? Well, here's how we're going to break it down. We'll kick things off with that economic surge that's really fueling these new strategic ambitions. Then, we'll take a look at India's growing role on the world stage, plus the huge changes happening at home, before we look ahead at what might be next.
Right. It really all starts with the economy. Think about it. A nation's economic muscle is the foundation for pretty much everything else. We're talking its global influence, its security, its ability to invest in its own future. And January 2026 really put that foundation on full display.
Look, this isn't just some number on a spreadsheet. This represents a fundamental shift in the global economic order. Climbing up to fourth place means more influence in big international institutions, it means more investor confidence, and it means a brand new seat at the table where the major decisions get made.
And this wasn't just a fluke, not a one-off achievement. The momentum was everywhere. We're seeing a top-tier manufacturing sector hitting 6th in the world. Domestically, car sales were through the roof. You've got groundbreaking innovation in green tech, like being the first to produce sustainable biobitumen. And on top of it all, really proactive trade diplomacy, trying to open up major markets like the EU.
Okay, so you've got this growing economic power. What do you do with it? Well, a greater responsibility comes with it. You have to secure it. This economic muscle is what allows you to invest in strategic defense and, at the very same time, gives you the ambition to reach for the stars. This right here is a really big deal, and the key word is indigenous. The successful first test of the long-range Pinaka system, that's a powerful statement about India's growing self-reliance in critical defense tech. It's all about building these advanced deterrents right at home.
And that push for self-reliance didn't stop there. We also saw the successful test of Pralay, a tactical missile designed for really precise strikes. It's another crucial piece of the puzzle for strengthening India's conventional deterrence capabilities.
This also shows something really important. It's not just about developing shiny new systems. It's about making sure the stuff you already have is completely reliable. So this successful test for the proven Prithvi 2 missile confirms that the existing arsenal is being kept at peak readiness. Now, modern security isn't just on land, at sea, or in the air anymore. It's in space. That's why the Defense Space Agency is so vital. It integrates the Army, Navy, and Air Force to manage all of those space-based assets. We're talking about satellites for communication, for surveillance, for navigation. In the 21st century, having a command like this is absolutely non-negotiable.
And hey, beyond just defense, 2026 was a huge year for space exploration. This really puts it all in perspective. At the same time India was gearing up for its historic first human spaceflight mission, Gaganyaan, the United States was getting ready to send humans back to the moon's neighborhood for the first time since the Apollo days. Two totally different goals, but both pushing the absolute frontiers of exploration.
Behind all of this incredible technology and grand strategy, there are real people, incredible individuals. And seeing Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla receive the Ashok Chakra, India's highest peacetime award for valor, for his role in the ISS mission, it just brings it all down to a human level. It's a powerful reminder of the courage and dedication that really powers these national ambitions.
When you've got economic and military strength, a new role on the world stage is pretty much inevitable. So how is India navigating the super complex world of international diplomacy back in January 2026? Well, let's just say it was a whirlwind.
Okay, so inside the very influential BRICS group, there was a really important distinction this year. While Brazil was holding the rotating chairmanship, India stepped up into the crucial role of hosting the 18th summit. And that put New Delhi at the absolute center of the dialogue for this powerful bloc of nations. I mean, just look at this. New Delhi was basically a global crossroads this month. You've got them hosting major summits for both BRICS and the EU, welcoming Argentina into the India-led Solar Alliance, and drawing in high-level visitors from Europe. It all points to a strategic shift where India isn't just a participant anymore, but a convener in these global conversations.
But, Beyond all the scheduled summits and handshakes, January also delivered a truly stunning development on the global stage, one that I think caught a lot of people by surprise.
That's right. The Norwegian Committee announced a Peace Prize for the 47th U.S. President, Donald Trump. This was a massive piece of international news that completely shaped the global political conversation, adding yet another layer of complexity to the world stage that India was trying to navigate.
And remember, all of this diplomacy wasn't happening in a bubble. The world was still a pretty volatile place. As nationwide protests were rocking Iran, India had to actually issue an advisory for its citizens to leave. And at the same time, a major geopolitical event was unfolding as the president of Venezuela was taken into custody. It's just a reminder of the complex and often unstable world India has to operate in.
Okay, so while navigating this complicated world, there were massive changes happening inside India's own borders. So let's turn our focus inward and look at the landmark domestic reforms that were really starting to take shape.
Now, this is what's so fascinating. You're seeing two different states pioneer two very different kinds of landmark laws at the same time. On one hand, you have Uttarakhand becoming the first to implement a uniform civil code, a huge social reform that's been talked about for decades. And then, you've got Rajasthan becoming the first to pass a law protecting gig economy workers, a really forward-looking economic reform for the modern workforce.
This one isn't some flashy new initiative, and that's exactly why it's so important. The Pragati platform, which is this digital tool designed to monitor big projects and cut through government red tape, it hit its 10-year anniversary. This marks a full decade of the quiet, persistent, behind-the-scenes work of making governance more effective and making sure that promises actually turn into reality.
So when we pull all these different threads together, the economic boom, the strategic moves, the global diplomacy, and these deep domestic reforms, what does the big picture of January 2026 really look like?
Here it is. This is the key takeaway. January 2026 wasn't just a random collection of headlines. It was a snapshot of a nation firing on all cylinders. The economic momentum was fueling a new strategic confidence. That confidence, in turn, gave India a more assertive voice on the world stage, all while it was undertaking these really deep, foundational reforms back at home.
This month was clearly a milestone, no doubt about it. But this kind of rapid transformation, it always brings new questions to the surface. As India's economic and strategic weight continues to grow at this incredible pace, it kind of forces us to ask, what new challenges and also what new opportunities is this going to create not just for India, but for the rest of the world?